Castlenovians. Alright boys, just wanted to take you on my little walk this afternoon. Just put a quick little live stream together just to talk about the topic of rejection and how I think one of the most beautiful mantras that I've got through my journey with daytime cold approach is rejection is better than regret. Yeah, rejection is better than regret. So yesterday we had one of our weekly Entourage group coaching calls. And during that call, we were mapping out a few locations that we're going to hit up this year. So if you know what the Entourage is it's like my private community. So all the guys who work with me one-to-one, they also get access to our private community. So basically wingmen all across the world, guys who've got their cold approach skills up to a really great level. So when you work with me, you don't just get access to me, you get access to a global network of like-minded guys who you can link up with. And one of the things that we've introduced this year is Renaissance retreats. So these are going to be secret worldwide meetups that all of our Entourage members get access to. So not only do they get their in-person one-to-one coaching with me, but they also get invitations to these meetups held throughout the year. So the first one's happening in March in a secret Spanish city, and yeah, we were just speaking yesterday about all the different locations that we can go to. And during the call, we all came to this agreement that solo cold approach, like after a while, it doesn't even matter how proficient you get at the skill. Once you get to a certain level, I think once you've actually experienced what it's like to cold approach with other like-minded guys, solo cold approach just becomes less appealing. Now look, I get it. If you're just starting off, then 100% get started on your own. Go out there, aim to do your first 100 direct cold approaches on your own if you want to. I mean, you don't have to. That's why people such as myself exist. Like, we can just help you skip all the trial and error, bypass all the guesswork. I can just give you the skill in a couple of days and hold you accountable for your actions. But the reason why we want to run these Renaissance retreats is because when you are solo, it's very difficult to make the game of cold approach fun. And then if you're not actually having fun with the skill set, what I've learned is you can start to take it way too serious. And the rejections, we'll just call them rejections. Really, we want to reframe what these things actually are. All I want you to do if you are a solo player at the moment, and I know it's difficult. Yeah, I know when you listen to a piece of content like this and maybe the people making the videos like, oh, don't worry about the rejections are not going to ruin you. I remember how difficult it was when I first got started. Like, I was battling with a lot of self-limiting beliefs. I was grappling with a perceived lack of self-worth. Even when I first started putting videos out there online, the feedback that I was getting was pretty crushing. It was like, this guy looks physically disadvantaged. This guy's a 4 out of 10 at best. Why are you wasting these women's time? Oh, you're ugly. And it's just funny how the narrative has switched. Now it's like, oh, you only get results because of the way that you look. It's like, dude, when I started this, I was ugly as shit. And the internet made me aware of that. So, point being, I understand what it's like to get started. I understand how difficult the rejections, the women who decline your invitations, I understand how difficult all that can be at the start. And there's different phases of the whole rejection game as well. Like, you could just be getting blowout left, right and center when you're doing your approaches, but then maybe you're getting phone numbers but the phone numbers flake, or maybe you have dates lined up and the dates flake, or the dates don't go anywhere, or maybe you bottle the dates, and it can be an emotional roller coaster at times. So the first thing that I want to make you aware of is, if you are going out there, even if you're just watching these live streams, even if you've just got the intention to actually go out there and create a new character for yourself through cold approach, then now, I just want you to feel proud of yourself at the start. You know, I think it doesn't really get said enough. I think on these videos, we speak a lot about, you know, going out there, pushing yourself, building an international lifestyle, creating a new identity through the fires of adversity. And maybe I don't say it enough to you, but I am proud of you. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if you're just going out there and maybe you've just not got things to stick at the moment, but maybe you are going out there and you do have that intention and you have been taking action, I think it is important to remind yourself that it's not an easy journey, especially if you are a solo player. But if I can give you any nuggets of wisdom from my time in the trenches, is you will get to a point on your trajectory where the game becomes a lot more efficient, a lot more fun, and a lot more effortless when you do have the right people around you. So if you can crack cold approach solo, then that's amazing. And then whatever you're able to do on your own, it will become way more easy when you've got the right people around you. I actually first understood this concept when last year we had kind of like an impromptu Renaissance retreat where myself and some of our other Entourage guys, we linked up in Manchester in the UK. And up to that point, we'd never actually got a lot of Entourage guys in the same city. There was about 5 of us in the same city, when if you've got at least one other Entourage guy with you, it is like having 50 wingmen at the same time. It's fucking awesome. But I remember being in Manchester with the guys, and something just shifted in the way that I viewed daytime call approach. And this was actually the motivator for me to schedule these Renaissance retreats this year, because at that moment when we were in Manchester, dude, we were just doing stupid shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were just acting like boys in the best way possible. It's like we went into fucking Poundland, which is like a dollar store. It's just like this cheap shop in the UK where most things are supposed to be a pound, but they're not anymore because of hashtag inflation. And like, we were just being stupid. Like, we were just approaching women in Poundland, like just having these like ludicrous situational springboards, like talking about fucking Diet Coke and Haribo sweets. And the actual approaches themselves, they didn't even matter anymore. Like, what mattered was the brotherhood that we were forming, the fun that we were having. And because I do think cold approach is a game of state transference, like she's your mirror, she feels what you feel. Like, imagine how powerful your approaches would be if you actually didn't care about the result. Yeah, I think it's easy for somebody such as myself to say to you, oh, like, don't be attached to the outcome. Like, you know, just be confident, bro. I think that advice is difficult to swallow if you are a solo player, right? Because if you're going out there, you've got no one to normalize it. You've got no one to laugh with. You've got no permission, right? Maybe you're living your life at the moment like a closet heterosexual, right? You're scared of being a man. You're ashamed of having desire. If you go out there today, you do some approaches, let's say the approaches don't go your way, it's easy to feel shamed. It's easy to feel that sensation of public embarrassment. But what I've found, especially when we were in Manchester, and this is the reason why I want to replicate it in these Renaissance retreats, is it's like having a social safety net around you, right? You know, even if the conversation goes shit, even if the boyfriend appears, even if people see you getting quote unquote rejected, you can just launch back into your social safety net of like-minded guys. Because if you've ever tried going out with like non-cold approach guys to cold approach or to meet women, they just don't get it. Like, I've had guys who've joined the Entourage and they were like, dude, my friends are almost shaming me for wanting to go out there and talk to women. Like, we might be on nights out together when it's even more socially acceptable to talk to people that I don't know. And like, if I go over to a group of people and I get quote unquote rejected, I'll go back to my friends and they'll shame me for it. They'll be like, dude, why did you go over? Why did you talk to those? Like, stay in your lane. Like, we only came out tonight to have a few drinks and talk about football, when in the back of everyone's minds, you all know you're out there because you wanted to meet new people. So what I'm going to do for you gentlemen as well is, once this stream is finished, in the comments, I'm going to link a video which you might not have seen before. And it's basically a video where myself and one of our Entourage members, George, we actually went out into London with the purpose of getting rejected. Now, I'm not saying that you need to replicate this demonstration, but the reason that we put that video together was to prove to you in real time that everybody gets rejected. If you're not getting rejected, you're not pushing yourself hard enough, and rejection is not going to ruin you, okay? So once you've finished with this live stream, go watch that. It's a banger video. It's a really awesome video. It's kind of like a social experiment that we wanted to run, just to prove to people that rejection is actually better than regret. Because, you know, something that I think about a lot is, imagine when I get to 70 or 80 years old and I'm looking back at these days right now, like, as far as I'm concerned, the days that I'm living now and the day that you're living, it's like, these are going to be the good old days one day. You know, like in 20 years time, we'd give anything to be back in this moment. Even if you're not the man that you want to be right now, even if you're not living the life you want to be living, even if you're not making the money you want to be making, like, that was the position that I was in 4 years ago. Like, I was far from the person I am today. But I look back on those days now and I look back on them with like good memories. Do you know what I mean? Because it was those days that built me, and I'm proud of my former self for taking the actions that I did, even though I wasn't the man that I wanted to be. I had delusional optimism that I could become that version of myself, and I achieved that through radical action and understanding that rejection is not going to ruin me. So if you're at the start of your journey right now, maybe you don't have money to invest into community, mentorship, coaching. Like I certainly didn't have that money when I started 4 years ago. I think it is important for you to have online mentors. So if you're watching these streams, you're following my content, maybe you have these podcasts or live streams. Some people call them podcasts, some people call them live streams. Even if you've just got these playing as you're going out to approach, I think that's better than nothing. But I think you will get to a point like I got to, like all the guys in my network got to, where to hit that next level, you're not going to be able to build an army of one, right? It's like you could get to 6 figures on your own. If you're building a business, like you can get to 6 figures on your own, that's fine. But if you want to scale it, if you want to get to 7, 8 figures, then you are going to need a team, right? Like one of our Entourage guys, Joseph, once said, cold approach is not a solo sport, it's an extreme sport, and it's also a team sport. So all the material on this channel, they will help you get to a decent level on your own, but what gets you from a 0 to a 1 will not get you from a 1 to a 4. And that's what a lot of the guys in our Entourage, like that's really what they came for. A lot of the guys in our network, they could already approach on their own. Like their dating lives were actually pretty good. They could get dates, but what they were really lacking was community. They were lacking these Renaissance retreats where they can just book a flight, get to a city, and then as soon as they touch down, they've got Entourage guys in that city who they can cold approach with, go to the gym with, talk about life, business, philosophy, art, poetry with. It's like the thing that we're building in the Entourage, it supersedes just cold approach. Like, yeah, you'll make crazy cold approach progress. We'll be able to take you to that next level, but it's not just linking up with guys who do the approach. It's also linking up with guys who you can do life with outside of this as well. So yeah, I just wanted to put this one together because I think it's important for you to recognize that when you are going out there and you are a solo player, you know, you're going to have all those reasons in the world not to do it, not to put yourself out there. You are going to have those voices, the voice in your head which is telling you, oh, you're not enough, you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you're not rich enough, you're not attractive enough. And you know, it is easy to fall victim to those voices, but I think if you can always remind yourself that belief follows action and understand that the person you are today is not going to be the person that you are 1 year from now, as long as you prioritize action. So it's almost like the person or the version of you who's getting rejected today, you're almost shedding your skin. Do you know what I mean? It's like in a year's time, you look back at who you were today and you'll be like, whoa, that's actually not me anymore. Like I've changed so much, I've transformed as an individual. So just view all of these reps as batting practice, right? Every approach that you're doing, you are investing into the identity of the version of yourself who you want to embody. So yeah, listen, if you want to watch me getting rejected in real time, if you want to watch me go out into London with the intention of being rejected, just to show you that rejection is not going to ruin you, then yeah, I'll link that one below, and then you can watch that, and hopefully you find that useful. But yeah, we've not got many of these streams left anyway. I made the commitment to do one of these every single day of the year. I've already done one for a full year, but I just wanted to finish off and get to January. So yeah, after the end of January, the dailies are going to cease to be. I'm going to be super busy anyway, so I'm going fly back to the UK on the 17th. So I get back to the UK on the 17th of February. And then, yeah, I'm going to be spending a decent amount of time in Europe. Obviously, we've got all of our Renaissance retreats that I'm going to be organizing. We've got different guys linking up from all across the world. Obviously, if you want to work with me in Europe, because I will be coming back to Bangkok at some point, so I'll be in Europe for a limited time. So yeah, even if you're considering working with me, joining the Entourage, completing some in-person coaching, and dude, even bagging yourself a ticket to one of the Renaissance retreats, like, yeah, you know what to do. You know where I am. So yeah, I'll link the video below, go watch that, it'll give you a laugh, and I think it will show you that we are more free than we probably realize. You know, like my mantra is freedom from bullshit. You understand by now, it goes way deeper than just talking to women. This is taking a sledgehammer to your social anxieties and removing all of the bullshit that's historically held you back. Even me just doing a stream out in public, like there was a shitload of security guards around me there, and I'm just talking, I'm out here, I'm just doing my thing. Even something like this a year ago would have scared me. I'd have been like, oh fuck, like what are people gonna think? I'm talking about provocative topics in public. There's like security guards swarming around me. It's like, know, it's fun. It's fun. And I think if we can prioritize fun, if we can prioritize play, not take ourselves too seriously, understand in 100 years, none of this is going to matter. And in 20 years from now, we would give anything to be back in this moment. Yeah, I hope you can go out there. I hope you can live a life beyond the beige. I hope that you don't die with your music still inside of you. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about any of the guys in our private network, the Entourage. I think the only thing that separates us from the rest of the people on this planet is we're just relentless. We just had this radical ambition. We decided that the reality that we were living was not the reality we wanted to keep living. And we did everything within our power to change it. I think for a lot of us, we're only just getting started. So yeah, boys, listen, I really hope that this live stream has found you well. I hope it inspires you to get out there and take massive action and not be another NPC who's sleepwalking his way through life. I do love you all very much. I'm really fucking proud of everything that you're doing at the moment. Even if we don't know each other personally, I can feel the energy through the streams, through the comments, through the nice emails and DMs that I get. And yeah, I know that the actions that I take, they're having a ripple effect all around the world and probably a bigger impact than even I probably realized. But yeah, if you're watching these streams, you're going out there, you're doing shit, then myself and the rest of the guys in the Entourage are fucking proud of you. And we hope to meet you one day. So yeah, I'll link everything below. I love you all very much and I'll speak with you tomorrow. All right.